Again, thank you all for being here today. In my mind, today's event is much more than a recognition of a new facility. Instead, it's a testament to what can be achieved when benevolent members of our community work in tandem with dedicated educators to transform a vision for students into reality. Working with Asha Jyothi, Chantilly staff members, architect Mary Valadez, Elizabeth Murphy, and the many others that contributed to this project has been one of the most exciting, forward-thinking, and rewarding opportunities of my career. It all started with a simple email from Elizabeth in November of 2017. She wrote to me, and this is a quote, I still have the email. "I had a call this morning from a couple who are looking to make a donation that would benefit Chantilly High School. They wanted it to be, quote, something that leaves a lasting impact on the children, the program, and the school for a long time to come." I think I replied to her in less than 30 seconds. After communicating with Elizabeth a few more times, we learned that the potential donors were Chantilly parents, and they were interested in giving $7,000 to $10,000. We also learned that they were leaders of a nonprofit named Asha Jyothi, an organization devoted to serving the needs of the underprivileged by providing access to education and health care. We immediately went to work trying to identify a compelling proposal for them to consider. About this time, several Chantilly staff members and I attended the annual Virginia Society of Technology and Education Conference, and a few of us went to a presentation about the growing popularity of makerspaces in schools across the United States. I remember being impressed with the idea, as makerspaces are not a class with a prescribed curriculum. Rather, they give all students an opportunity to explore their own ideas in an experiential environment. Academy Principal Scott Setter, who used to implement makerspaces in elementary schools across Fairfax County, finally looked at me and asked, "Why don't we propose to Asha Jyothi that they sponsor the development of a technology-focused makerspace?" I was like, "That's a great idea." Next, we facilitated focus groups with students and staff to vet the idea and to prioritize the skills and attributes that we hope to develop with this initiative. And we immediately saw a direct link to the FCPS Portrait of a Graduate initiative. We soon learned that no other high school in the region is doing exactly what we had in mind, so we conducted a day of field trips to other like-minded facilities, including the Virginia Tech Think a Bit Lab in Falls Church and Nova Labs in Reston, which is an adult makerspace. I also learned that we also had a former computer lab over here, you'll see, that was sitting empty because we were lucky to be an FCPS on school. So every single student here has a device, and we didn't need computer labs anymore. So when we approached our head librarian, Robin, she's in here somewhere, and the other librarian staff members about the idea, they were very enthusiastic and jumped on board right away. We put all of our ideas together and presented our proposal to Asha Jyothi leadership in February of 2018. We asked for a donation of $10,000 and offered to match it with a $10,000 contribution of our own. We were going to simply paint the space, and we were planning to go to IKEA and get some storage bins at a very cheap price. And at the end of the presentation, we walked everybody down to the space so they could envision what it would become. Shaker, Malini, and the other Asha Jyothi leaders seemed very pleased with the idea, but remarked that the space was dull and uninspiring. Instead of repainting the room and acquiring some rudimentary furniture as we proposed, they wanted it to be a state-of-the-art facility that had the best of everything. I replied that while I appreciated their enthusiasm, the facility that we had in mind would be much more expensive than our collective budget would allow. I'll never forget this. Shaker looked at me, smiled, and stated, "Money is not a problem." You don't hear that very much in schools. After many strategy meetings and a great deal of planning, the Innovation Lab is now ready to open to students and staff. Along the way, we and other schools in Fairfax County have built an impactful win-win partnership with Asha Jyothi that is improving the lives of young people here in Fairfax County and in other parts of the world. As part of our work together, we agreed to help Asha Jyothi promote their annual 5K run walk, and over 400 Fairfax County Public Schools students, parents, and staff from 7 schools took part. In recognition of their participation, Asha Jyothi donated again a total of $7,760 to participating schools to promote initiatives that were consistent with their mission, that are consistent with their mission. Chantilly High School, for example, donated all money raised and matching funds from Asha Jyothi to Generation Yuva, a non-governmental social services organization in India that serves abandoned children. And from what I was told, our donation was able to provide them food and clothing and supplies for months. During the snow day earlier this week, during the snow day the other day, I had a chance to really kind of reflect a bit, as we don't often get to do in schools because you're so busy. But I had a chance to just really think about my experience with the Pooles, Asha Jyothi, and members of, and all of those who have helped contribute to where we are today. And I came across a quote that really captured kind of what I was thinking. It reads, "The people who make a difference in your life are not the ones with the most credentials, the most money, or the most rewards. They are simply the ones that care the most." And I feel very grateful to have worked with so many outstanding people to make the Innovation Lab a reality for our community, and I cannot thank you enough.